So I'm just going to do a quick video talking about coal tier and various bits and bobs. So in its current state, this is coal tier. So you've got 48 to 96, 1 to 12, 1 to 12. Generally there's fights all over the map on coal tier. It's actually pretty good for fights. Bases, I would say, are pretty balanced and they're pretty cool. Now I'm just going to start this video off by saying I'm going to talk about coal tier, then I'm going to talk about the main maps, and then I'm going to finish with Esamir. So in its current state, coal tier is always on 24 hours a day. This is because you need 150 people to activate the larger maps. Now this is population. Now obviously coal tier is definitely not dead. It's not one guy shooting another guy. You know, it's literally a 96 plus fight, and the fights are pretty good. Like, they're pretty balanced. I mean, recently NC's been over popping a lot. So NC kind of owns the fight normally, but there was actually some pretty good fights. Now when the update first came out, it was 200 players, but then they did a hotfix and it was 150. But within the week it took them to hotfix, we probably lost quite a bit of people. Well, my outfit started seeing a decrease in people coming on because they were saying, I'm not fighting on coal tier all the time, coal tier is boring, you know, I'm not having a week of this. So after around 3-4 days, people start to log off. Now in its current state, we always see coal tier most, if not all the time. We do on prime time manage to hit 150 people, and we do trigger a main continent. So as of right now, coal tier is always open. So if you're coming in to the game, if you just started playing the game again, that's the reason, coal tier. Now moving on from coal tier, you have the main maps. Now the main maps are pretty dead, even with the population that we have. The issue we have, or always have, is the fact that it takes 5 hours before a continent alert kicks in. So on the main map, you've got 5 hours wait, and then the continent alert kicks in for 45 minutes. People have always said, I don't get why we spend 5 hours on the main continent. 5 hours of mid, for example, gets kind of boring. So let me give you an example. We was on Indar the other day. We were fighting the Crown. The Sunday at the Crown kept getting killed by the VS, and people on NC was like, I'm not having this, I'm going to log off. That's what they said in my outfit, so people were logging off. Certain people stayed in the game, some of my outfit members, and we ended up pulling a Colossus tank, just because we couldn't get a spawn down. So we pulled a Colossus and we just went around killing stuff. But overall, yes, even on the main maps, it can get kind of boring. Now people have said, well, yeah, you're allowed to pull MBTs, you're allowed to pull, you know, galaxies, libs, that sort of thing, you know, harassers. People have said on coal tier they should allow us to pull harassers, libs. I feel like on coal tier the Sundays get destroyed too easy. Like, there's no Sunday protection, there's nowhere to put Sundays. So could you imagine a lib going around killing everything on, you know, on coal tier? Yeah, granted, you probably pull anti-air and all the rest of it, but somebody would find a way to kill the Sunday. Like Joe Poe and his harasser, you wouldn't even get a Sunday down most of the time. So I don't see how you would want harassers and libs flying around. Even galaxies, two galaxies repairing each other are pretty OP. It's just kind of, yeah, you just wouldn't want that. Now I'm giving Indar as an example, but you know, we've been on most, if not all, the continents, you know, once throughout the week. We was on Hossen the other day, we was on Amrish. You know, we do go to the main continents, but it's obviously only at prime time, and it's only one continent, you know, large continent per day. Now word on the street is that a lot of outfits don't tend to do outfit stuff anymore. It's been outfits not doing outfit stuff for years. I mean, when I first started the game, I kind of came in towards the end. You know, a lot of outfits had left, a lot of the good outfits. Now I'm talking about the good KD outfits, you know, people that had high KDs, people that really took this game, you know, 100% serious. When I came in, a lot of those outfits had gone. There was like one outfit on the whole, you know, actual doing stuff, and most outfits had died. So in its current state, like N151 for example, we can't really push bases because there's no point pushing bases on coal tier. We really use the outfit resource because that's kind of useless on cold tier. On the main maps, a lot of times you could push a base and that's pretty fun, but you just don't see many main continents. And places like, you know, the Crown, for example, because we were meant to get TI alloys, but we haven't got that yet. So you have to fight the Crown. Places like the Crown, you just end up with your Sunday dying constantly. You know, and that goes for all factions. I'm not just talking about NC. I'm talking about VS. They put a Sunday down, it gets destroyed. Even TR put a Sunday down, it gets destroyed. That's if NC own the base. You know, there's literally no remorse from anybody. They don't keep the Sunday up. They don't try and keep the fight going. This has been the issue for years. Now, that's the current state of PlanetSide. You know, outfits don't do outfit stuff anymore, so outfits have kind of died off. My outfit has literally, you know, hardly anybody coming on per day because people aren't interested in KD. They're not interested in, you know, doing directives. They're more interested in doing, you know, pushing bases and getting outfit resource. That's kind of their fun, you know. And my outfit is a definitely 100% casual fit that just gets new players into the game. That's, you know, that was my aim. My aim wasn't to have the best KD players. It wasn't, you know, to have the best, you know, players and PlanetSide come and join my outfit. It's just about getting new players, you know, and giving them a place to hang out and people, you know, can gain good solid advice. So in terms of that, you know, yeah, we still do that, but in terms of pushing bases, it doesn't really happen anymore. You know, there's no point. So Esamir wise, now Esamir has been taken off. I'll just see who this guy is. I don't know who this guy is. Yeah, so Esamir has been taken off rotation. It's been taken out of the game for a while. This is because of the crashes. Now with Esamir, they have said that, well, they haven't really said anything to be honest, but they made a statement. I think they put in a devlog or something that they've taken it out for a bit because of the constant crashing, and it just didn't sit well with ps4 PlanetSide. But as it stands, they're trying to optimize, I guess, chapter 3, because we haven't had that yet. If you go to missions, you go to campaigns, if you click on your campaign, if you start doing the campaign, if you start doing the earlier ones, I mean, it goes back from 2020 and then it goes to 2022. Like, honestly, I don't know how many years it's been since they actually brought out chapter 3, or since they actually brought out chapter 2, chapter 1 to chapter 2, but chapter 3 has been a long time in the making. I'm talking like, it seems like a year. I mean, I might be wrong, but I'm not on my other account, so I can't check, but literally, yeah, containment sites. So containment sites for PlanetSide are kind of just a waste of time. So they bought in, so I'm in a biolab right now. Biolabs are really, really good fighting areas. Lots, you know, doesn't take high amount of population to make it busy. Pretty good. The issue I had at the time was the fact that when you was in a biolab, you was kind of stuck in a biolab, and there's nothing else to do. Like, biolab fights are kind of boring for me personally. They get kind of boring after a while. I prefer to push bases, but with biolabs, people used to stay in them for hours and hours and hours. Now, on Esamir, they had biolabs on Esamir. They took them out because of this reason. They were saying that people are spending too much time in them. You know, they're not fighting on different parts of the map, that kind of thing. So they took them out. They made them a bunch of ruins. So you could still take the base, but you wouldn't really be able to take the base as a biolab. It wasn't actually a biolab. It was like just a bunch of ruins with a couple of points dotted around. So it actually made it better. But then they come out with, hey, we're going to bring containment sites in, which need like 96 plus players to make it viable. And as on PlayStation, we don't have that amount of population to make it viable. So it was like, okay, well, we're bringing in containment sites. But why though? So it went from, you know, not having any biolabs to forcing people to fight elsewhere, to then making it so you've got containment sites now, which is just a giant pop dump, which is pop we don't really have. So you're going to end up with people in there fighting and not doing anything else on the map, which is might as well just fight on cold tier, to be honest. I mean, you're not doing anything on cold tier per se. You're just fighting in the middle, which is basically like a giant containment site. Not quite, but you know what I mean. So this is where the game's at currently. You need 150 pop to go to the big continents. You don't see the big continents very often. SME is offline, and that's it. Now, looking forward with PlanetSide, you're probably going to say, well, where is PlanetSide headed now? The answer is I can't really tell you that because I don't know. Where do we go from here? Well, we could lower the pop to make it so that we go on the other continents more frequent. We could just have it where cold tier becomes, you know, rotation only instead of going on it during the lowest pop. But I mean, I don't know. When they bring out the new player stuff, hopefully new players will, you know, have a better starting block in the game, and hopefully some new players will stay, because the game has always been hard to retain players. That's always been the hardest thing. Retaining players, keeping players interested in the game. Because the thing is, the game, I think how Rel wants you to play the game is defend and attack. But how the game is actually played is just a bunch of people spending hours and hours and hours in mid, just grinding directives. That's literally it in a nutshell. With like probably a one to 5 people pushing side lanes for funsies and not really doing much. I mean, we'll have to wait and see. I'm hoping they bring the new player stuff out soon. The next update might be containment site stuff and chapter 3. So, I mean, yeah, it's not going to be bad, but at the same time, containment site's going to be useless. Not really going to be, you know, used to its full potential because we don't have the population for that. And you're just going to have a massive pop dump. And people are going to get bored again. People got bored of biolabs last time. Some of my outfit members were around in one cav, and some of them used to say, I get bored of biolabs. Which, yeah, I can see the potential for that as well. So, yeah, I can see why people get bored. So, yeah, we'll have to wait and see. What do you guys feel about cold tier? You know, do you guys like fighting a cold tier? You know, do you wish the maps, larger maps, were open 24/7 even though we didn't have the pop? You know, what do you guys think? Do you guys want Esamir to open back up? I mean, I know Esamir, if it opens back up, is going to be, you know, it's going to be fun to fight at again. I kind of miss fighting there. But yeah, in some of the maps like Amarish and Hossen, I don't really like fighting on them. I get bored, especially mid on Amarish. It's kind of boring. You know, certain bases on Amarish, they're just so hard to get a Sunday down. Indoor, I like fighting indoor, but Crown, I don't like fighting at the Crown. Hossen, absolute great fighting areas. You know, the mid on Hossen is really nice. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see what the future PlanetSide brings. But yeah, until then, guys, I'll see you soon. Take care.